Rush Limbaugh's controversial bid to buy the St. Louis Rams of the NFL. Opponents say Limbaugh has a history of making racially offensive comments, some directed squarely at NFL players. Here's David Muir.
On his radio show, Rush Limbaugh fought back against the growing controversy surrounding his bid to become part owner of the St. Louis Rams. Saying he couldn't talk about the football bid directly, he did offer his own criticism of the media.
They have to go somewhere to find concocted quotes, which are now bordering on slander, libel, whatever it is, that I never said, and they believe it.
But more than a half dozen NFL players point to actual quotes to Limbaugh's short-lived run as an ESPN sports analyst. There was this about quarterback Donovan McNabb.
I don't think he's been that good from the get-go. I think what we've had here is a little social concern in the NFL. I think the media has been very desirous that a black quarterback do well.
Limbaugh said at the time people were making a mountain out of a molehill. 6 years later, Donovan McNabb has not forgotten.
If he's rewarded to buy that, congratulations to him. I won't be in St. Louis no time soon.
And among the players now arguing against Limbaugh's bid, New York Giants defensive end Matthias Kiwanuka, who said he can do whatever he wants, it's a free country. But if it goes through, I can tell you where I'm not going to play. But those critical comments are drawing fire as well.
And those black ball players that are saying that, I'm here on national television telling you they're lying through their stinking teeth. Oh, please. The New York Jets offer me $10 million, but Rush Limbaugh's offering me $20 million. I'm going to have a problem with it? Please, they're lying.
Rush out of the NFL.
The Reverend Al Sharpton is now asking the NFL to block Limbaugh's bid. But even some of Sharpton's own listeners are asking why. Some said it's good for business.
Him owning a team is good for the sport. And I say that because somebody to hate puts people in the seats.
The NFL doesn't talk publicly about the sale of teams until the league's owners decide. Football fans on both sides already have. For Good Morning America, David Muir, ABC News, New York.
For more on the controversy, moments ago, I spoke with Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick of ESPN's Mike and Mike in the Morning. What are your listeners saying this morning, Greeny?
You know, it's amazing, Robin. The reaction is overwhelming, and it just goes to show that Rush Limbaugh is one of the most polarizing figures in American society, and I would say it is somewhere in the vicinity of 50-50 split, with half of our listeners that are calling us and emailing us saying, guys, give Rush Limbaugh a break. A lot of the things that are being said about him are inaccurate, and then others saying, if Rush Limbaugh owned the St. Louis Rams, I would never buy tickets to another pro football game again. So I think it's an indication of just how polarizing a figure he is.
And Goalie? So you don't believe some of these players who are saying, hey, I will not, if I'm a free agent, I will not play for the Rams if Rush Limbaugh is a part owner?
Listen, Robin, there are some superstars in this league. Most are foot soldiers. I was a foot soldier. If I was in this situation, you know, what am I going to do? I'm not going to play for you? Oh, yeah, nobody else wants me in the league. So, listen, it's a job to some people. Certainly Rush is, as Greeny said, is polarizing, and everybody knows his business. But I guarantee you, and I don't know if maybe this says about players in the league, there are a lot of players in the league who probably don't even know Rush Limbaugh. And that's the absolute truth. Or they don't care what he does. He's the owner of their team, but they're getting their paycheck for their job.
But, guys, you remember in the 1990s, Marge Schott was banned from baseball for 2 years for what some considered racial comments. And she was an owner at the time. Could the NFL do something similar?
I would be absolutely stunned if he winds up a member of this group, because the National Football League is one of the very few businesses in America that does not need to subscribe to the any publicity is good publicity theorem. They are a machine. They are so overwhelmingly popular. They are by far the most popular and important sport and business in American sports right now. They don't need the additional attention. Rush Limbaugh comes with huge numbers of fans, but I don't think the NFL is sitting thinking, well, if we could only get the Rush Limbaugh audience to be paying attention to the National Football League. I don't see that there's a whole lot of upside for them, and it is obvious what some of the downside could be.
Goalie, of course, you played in the NFL for many seasons, and I want to tell you, read to you what the executive director of the Players Association said. Sport in America is at its best when it unifies, gives all of us reason to cheer, and when it transcends. Our sport does exactly that when it overcomes division and rejects discrimination and hatred. If the bid goes through, if he does become a part owner, what kind of message do you believe this sends?
Oh, I think it sends that this is America, and you know what? If you have the want to do something and you're given the right to do that and you want to do it, then that's great. Isn't that what I guess we're supposed to be about if you're given the opportunity?
Our thanks to Mike and Mike. We'd love to hear from you, too. Go to our shout-out board and let us know what you think.